Here's what went down in the Diddy trial this week.
More explosive testimony in the sex trafficking trial against Sean Diddy Combs.
Singer Dawn Richard testified, telling jurors that Diddy threatened to kill her. Fox 5's Lisa Evers inside of the courtroom and is live in Lower Manhattan with the very latest on all of this. Lisa.
Well, Natasha and Bianca, the third week of the trial kicked off. They picked up right where they left off on Friday with this striking and stunning testimony from two women who said that they had direct knowledge of Diddy's physical violence and physical abuse. Plus, we have new photos of evidence. Evidence photos were released today from the Fed raid last September on Diddy's Manhattan hotel room. A Louis Vuitton bag, nicknamed the Med Bag because it contained drugs, baby oil bottles were scattered throughout the room, even in the bathroom. There were pills and pink powder that a federal agent testified was made up of illegal drugs. Former Diddy Dirty Money singer Dawn Richard was back on the stand with the defense trying to poke holes in her testimony, but she stuck to her story and said she personally witnessed Diddy beating up Cassie multiple times and that he warned her if she told anyone, bad things could happen to her, even warning her that people who talk go missing. Also on the stand was Cassie's ex-best friend of 17 years, Carrie Morgan, who said Diddy beat her with a wooden hanger and gave her a concussion when he stormed into Cassie's home in 2018. Morgan says a month later, Cassie met her at a pizzeria in West Hollywood and said she had $30,000 for her if she would sign an NDA. Carrie Morgan testified she took the money and they never spoke again. Now the day finished off with Diddy's one of his many former personal assistants, David James, who testified that he was on call basically 24/7 to fulfill Diddy's needs both professionally and personally in terms of helping him to run these businesses as well as handle personal social engagements. He said that twice that he was subpoenaed and that was the reason that he was there in court today. We're live in Lower Manhattan outside federal court. I'm Lisa Evers, Fox 5 News.
And more dramatic testimony at the Sean Diddy Combs trial. Prosecutors calling Cassie Ventura's mother to the stand to help corroborate her daughter's testimony from last week. Regina Ventura testified an angry Sean Diddy Combs demanded she pay him $20,000 or he would release explicit sex tapes of her daughter. She says Combs was upset Cassie had started dating someone else. Ventura said she tapped a home equity loan to pay Combs because she was scared for her daughter's safety. Days later, she said that the money was returned and Cassie was soon dating Combs again. During her testimony, the jury viewed photos of bruises on Cassie's body that Ventura testified were taken when her daughter came home for Christmas in 2011. Jeremy Salant is a criminal defense lawyer not connected to the case.
She corroborated her daughter about the extortion. There was photos of injuries. There's a $20,000 that she had to pay back Sean Combs.
Prosecutors also calling a male escort and exotic dancer known as the Punisher to the stand. His real name is Sheree Hayes. He testified he was hired to create erotic scenes with Cassie while a naked man watched from the corner. He did not realize at first that the man was watching, he says, was Combs.
The big take home here was that there's no evidence of other than Sean Combs being sort of the puppeteer that he was doing this by force or coercion from this particular witness.
Combs has pleaded not guilty to the sex trafficking and racketeering charges against him. If convicted, he could face 15 years to life in prison. A-listers expected to take the stand. Rapper Kid Cudi will testify for the prosecution in the sex trafficking trial of Sean Diddy Combs.
And Fox 5's Michelle Ross joins us live from Lower Manhattan with more on today's hearing. Michelle.
Bianca, Natasha, taking up most of today's testimony was Dr. Dawn Hughes. She's a board-certified clinical and forensic psychologist, and she testified on why people stay in abusive relationships. Now, she also revealed how much money she makes. She's paid $600 an hour for her work and $6,000 per day of testimony. She testified in other high-profile cases like the defamation trial with Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, singer R. Kelly, and NXIVM founder Keith Raniere. Today, she dug into four main topics: why people stay in these types of relationships, how they cope, how and when they reveal what happened to them, and memory. She explained that abusive relationships do have love, and trauma bonding can make it harder to leave, and taking illegal substances can numb the pain of it all. The last witness to take the stand was George Kaplan, a former assistant to Sean Combs, who says one of his responsibilities was to set up Diddy's hotel rooms. The first time he unpacked Diddy's bag, he found baby oil, Astroglide, candles, and liquor. The other times, he'd buy the items on his corporate card. He also had to make sure that the rooms were in polished shape before checkout to protect Diddy's image, and often threw out empty baby oil bottles and once threw out a powdery crystal substance. And he said he was instructed by Diddy to pick up drugs 2 times. Both times he testified that Diddy gave him cash to pay for it and gave him a number to call someone to pick it up. Now, tomorrow testimony will continue with George Kaplan on the stand, but once he's done, we expect to see rapper Kid Cudi on the stand. He once dated Cassie for a brief time, Cassie Ventura, and he will testify on allegations that Diddy firebombed his car after finding out that the two were dating.
Another explosive day of testimony in the Sean Diddy Combs sex trafficking trial.
That's right. Today, another famous person took the stand. Let's get right to Fox 8's Linda Schmidt outside the courthouse in Lower Manhattan. Linda.
Yeah, first of all, good evening to both of you. And the famous person you're talking about testifying today is rapper Kid Cudi. Now, he testified that he had met with Sean Combs after Combs threatened to blow up his car, and then his Porsche was in fact firebombed, apparently by a Molotov cocktail. Go ahead, take a look at this video here, because this is Kid Cudi arriving at federal court here in Lower Manhattan earlier today. He is the one wearing the black leather jacket and is smoking a cigarette. Now, he testified about his brief relationship with Combs' ex-girlfriend Cassie back in 2011 after she and Combs had broken up. Cassie has already testified that Combs flew into a jealous rage and threatened to blow up Cudi's car. Now, here are some of the pictures of the blown-up Porsche. A makeup artist for A-list celebrities also testified in court today. She said that Cassie was like a little sister to her. She testified that back in 2010, during the Grammy Awards weekend, she saw an angry Combs barge into a hotel suite at the Beverly Hills Hotel and into Cassie's bedroom. She heard them screaming, she said. Combs then left, and she saw Cassie, quote, "She had a swollen eye, a busted lip, and knots on her head." The makeup artist then goes on to say, to explain why they did not call the police or go to the hospital, saying that Cassie did not want to do that, and that, quote, "I was afraid of Sean. I feared for my life." And then there was another witness today, the general manager of the luxury hotel L'Hermitage in Beverly Hills, where Combs would often stay and have his freak-off sex sessions there. The hotel's logs included a note about him saying, quote, "Always spills candle wax on everything and uses excessive amounts of oil. Place the room out of order upon departure for deep cleaning." Now, because of the Memorial Weekend holiday, no court tomorrow, no court on Monday, and testimony in this case will resume on Tuesday.